How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series I do around here where once a week, at least once, during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie, and the summer's winding down, but I'm going to try to get out as many of these as I can before summer's over. And today we're going to start off with one that I was kind of curious about. Looked really weird. This is 90210 Shark Attack. This is from 2014, directed by David DeCoteau, who the back of the box will remind you did Grizzly Rage, Leeches, and Puppet Master 3. So he's done a few movies before. This movie stars Nikki BreAnna Wells, Stephanie Shemanski, and Rachel Rosenstein. Now, I should mention, I guess, one of the first things I saw about this movie was I went and I looked up the trailer on YouTube. And after I saw the trailer, I went to the channel that had posted the trailer because it looked like the official production company had posted it. And I was scrolling through what other movies this company had made, and I was quite surprised to see a talking cat and Santa's Summer House. Both of those movies, riff tracks would make into episodes. Very famous riffs, commentary tracks on those movies. So I was like, wait a minute, those are weird, cheesy movies. It's the same people that did this, and actually upon further examination, the same director actually made both of those movies. And when you watch this movie, you can definitely tell that really low-budget, cheesy style with all the wooden acting, and yeah, it's definitely the same people that made a talking cat. But anyway, I look at the cover, and this is clearly a case of the cover is definitely not going to be as cool as the movie, giant sharks, guys surfboarding away, tidal wave. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to get that, but I was expecting dumb, cheesy fun. That's all I really wanted. You're doing a movie, 90210, Beverly Hills, and then there's sharks. Just give me good, cheesy fun. Sadly, no. No, this wasn't as cheesy and stupid as I was hoping. I was really hoping for goofy fun, but it's not much happens in this movie. I've complained more on this channel about factory films lately, and I don't think this is quite as bad as a factory film, but I would definitely say it's a film kind of made on autopilot, going through the motions, getting your shots, not really thinking too much, and creating a movie where, to be honest, not much happens. I want to see sharks, I want to see Beverly Hills comedy, but here it's mostly a series of people talking about petty dramas and nothing super interesting. Hey, what happened to your father who's missing? Hey, you love this person, whoa, and it's not super entertaining. And I complained earlier in Sharks of Summer when I reviewed Raiders of the Lost Shark, and I said that was barely an Indiana Jones parody, just like not really at all. But when you look at this one, 90210 Shark Attack, this really does miss on both those levels. As far as the 90210 stuff goes, really more nice mansion Shark Attack. You get two of the characters that are kind of the rambunctious, overly in love with each other, rich kid teenagers. They're kind of Beverly Hills stereotypes, and the house is supposed to be in Beverly Hills, but really, you don't really get to see the Beverly Hills locations or tropes. It's just we're in a house that is supposedly in Beverly Hills. I guess it is in real life, I don't know, but it's just we're in a nice house. So this movie really should just be Nice House Shark Attack. And the Shark Attack, yeah, no, there's barely any sharks in this movie. To be honest, I watched the beginning of this movie, and at about 15 minutes in, they throw in random stock footage of a shark, and I legitimately had the thought in my head, oh yeah, this is a shark movie. Yeah, that's not great. But for what we actually get out of the shark, let's do a brief, non-spoilery plot synopsis, because the shark in here is actually very different. Basically, in this movie, you get a teacher and 6 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls, and they're going to this luxury house that the rich kid, his dad was able to set them up in, and they're going there to study ocean life. They're going to do 2 trips out on a boat and kind of do a bunch of schoolwork here. It's a school vacation, although that does kind of get forgotten about later in the movie, but whatever. It's a school vacation. However, one of the girls has a backstory. She's taking this oceanography class. Her father was a very famous ocean explorer, but he was kind of a scumbag. He would, take valuable objects from native peoples of various islands he went to. One day, he found a tribe that worshipped a shark, and he killed the shark, but then he went missing. And now she wears a shark tooth necklace. And this shark tooth necklace is cursed. And it's going to, get this, cause her head to turn into a shark and bite people's heads off. That's an insane concept, really. And it's weird, like, you see her eyes glow, and then her head, not a shark's head, but a shark, where, like, her neck kind of turns into, like, the top of the tail, and, like, her body kind of, like, glows out, and then the shark just kind of comes out of her neck and goes, yum, and that's a super weird shark. We do get a bunch of regular sharks in stock footage, but we don't really get to see or interact with them. The whole shark attack part of this movie is this one girl's weird neck shark. But I guess I should say, as far as neck shark goes, I wish it was better. It's a wacky, crazy concept, but to be honest, it doesn't show up very often, and it leads to all the kills being the same thing. All of a sudden, she's alone with someone, neck shark grabs them, and because it's low budget in the CGI department, and no interaction, you get at best, and then cut away. And in turn, no real gore, no crazy kills. It's just every now and then when she's alone with someone, neck shark, cut away, same kill, very quick, and not even a great sense of tension building up to it. So yeah, this same repetitive PG kill over and over and over again. And to be honest, if you watch the trailer, they show most of the kills, like almost all of them in the trailer. Just watch the trailer. Don't bother with the movie. I honestly say, and I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to rag on this, but yeah, just watch the trailer. And, yeah, the whole 90210 culture thing I mentioned earlier, you're stuck in the house. You don't really get the scenes or the tropes. You do get the closest to, other than the house itself being a luxury mansion, the closest you get is these 2 rich kids who are constantly trying to sneak off with each other. But it's another thing I do want to say with this movie. You look at the back, in the back it has the information. 2015, which some places say 2014, stereo, English, and then it lists the genre. The official genre for this movie on the back of the box is, and I quote, sexy horror. I guess that's a subgenre. Yes, but the thing with that is it's one of those, what I like to think of as PG-13 dirty movies, because the idea of love and getting together and all that stuff is definitely in the air. It's definitely talked about quite a bit. There are several lingering shots of men and women, and it definitely is something that this movie's about, but it is it is not R-rated in any way. So it's sort of one of those things the movie is hyper obsessed with, but then nothing really significant happens. Like, you could play this movie on TV without any edits. It's yeah, whatever. So yeah, there's that. Also, the characters and their plots. A lot of the characters just get 1 or 2 scenes for their personal plot, and it's kind of talked about. But, you know, it's not, none of the, maybe more than 1 or 2 scenes, but it's never really anything big, anything captivating, anything that really digs in and changes the plot. It's just a couple scenes like, hey, he's secretly sleeping with her, or hey, she's thinking this about this other person, and it's just kind of like, okay, we're doing that now for a couple scenes, and then it's not going to be super important. None of these characters are super interesting, and actually the girl with the shark neck is really the main character. You would think the nerdy, clearly final girl archetype would be the main character, but no, it doesn't really focus on anyone other than Sharkneck Girl, and yeah, there's no plot, despite how most of this movie is talking about drama. There's very little of it that really goes anywhere. And yeah, there'd be things in this movie that get tons of talking about, but don't really amount to anything. For example, food delivery gets here, and the teacher walks around and tells all the students about the food delivery being here. You gotta go eat. And unless I totally blacked out, I don't remember there actually being a dinner scene. All that talk about this food and nothing happens. There's another one. A big one is they talk about how we're gonna do 2 trips on the ocean in this boat to study the marine life. Of course, because of Sharkneck, they only get to do 1, but they talk so much about going out into the ocean to study the marine life. And then when we finally get to that scene, it is literally just a telescope lens shot of a boat, which I don't even know if the production crew told the people on the boat they were going to film it. You don't see any of the main characters in there. It's just a shot of this boat driving around in the water a little bit, and then it cuts and they're like, wow, we just got off our trip. And I'm like, all that talking for such a nothing burger of an event. And I do gotta mention the cinematography and the shot choice. Low budget movie, plop the camera down and shoot. Nothing super interesting. And the thing is, you know, the scenes, they'll come up and they'll kind of just go through them. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. And because the scenes move relatively fast, but nothing important's happening, this movie feels like it's going both too slow and too fast at the same time. That bugged me. But the shots in here, this movie, by the end of it, if you see a wide shot, you really start to like freak out, because if you see a wide shot, there's going to be a character walking all the way through this shot to go to somewhere else. And there's so many shots where if you see a wide shot of a room and you see the character there in the door, you're gonna have to sit there and watch the character walk all the way to the other side of the room. That got to me. Also, going up the stairs, all the way up the stairs, but they did this one shot where the cameraman stood in the lobby at the bottom of the stairs and would just follow the characters up the stairs. And they did that shot so many times. You know, different actors, so they shot it multiple times depending on what they needed. But the same following the characters up the stairs shot over and over again. I don't want to be like a comedic rant channel. I don't want to dig onto something too hard. This movie was clearly made on autopilot. Not much effort went into anything. All the characters have wooden acting. And yeah, it just kind of goes through the motions. Not much of either of the movie's big selling points. Hardly any Beverly Hills parody. Hardly any shark stuff. Overall, not a great movie, and I've done Sharks this summer. This is my second year doing it. I've seen a bunch of shark movies, and this isn't as bad as Shark Exorcist. Shark Exorcist is still the worst one. This is only a few pegs above it, though. This is definitely not a great movie. I was hoping for good, cheesy fun, and instead, it was only 75 minutes, but it felt like so much longer, and I could barely stay awake towards the end of this one. So, definitely not a recommendation there. I'm going to try to get to as many of these shark movies as I can before the summer wraps up, so look forward to more. But anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my shark movies playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about more shark movies, you can find that there. I've talked about Jaws, I've talked about the entire Sharknado series, and the entire Deep Blue Sea series. So if you want to see more, I've talked about a ton of shark movies. So anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.